Hello and welcome to KORPSE Talks Season 2, Episode 2. Is it going to be released as? Yeah. We are here with
Farouk Alao.
AKA
Farouk A58, I guess.
not F2 Drippy.
FT FT Tappy, FT Tappy, and FT Drippy too. Okay.
So introduce yourself for the people that may not know you.
So my name is Farouk Alao. I am a graphic designer, motion designer, artist and model. I do a few different bits as well as those things. So I don't know. I guess I always just tell people I keep busy and just kind of stay on my steady grind.
Yeah. So which did you start with then? Like which would you say is your main at this point, kind of?
My main. Probably motion design. I've been doing a lot of motion design at the moment. I kind of ebb and flow between like my practice. I guess because I would consider myself a multidisciplinary artist because I do work across mediums. Just because I get bored. I get bored of things or whatever, and also like once I feel like I've hit a ceiling in terms of where I can push a particular medium at that time, I kind of move to another medium, and then until and then I get used to that one, and then I might come back and then kind of use different things. But I suppose motion design would probably be my current main practice.
So how would you maintain that? Not even say just schedule wise, but kind of like how do you after like a couple months like reach out to the same people and be like, I'm a model now, like I'm this.
Okay. Well, with modeling, like I fortunately have agencies. So I've got an agency. I just got signed recently to not another agency here in Dublin. Then I've got my agency over in London as well. And like it's like modeling. I haven't really been doing modeling like that heavy recently. Like definitely over the last year or so. Because one, I was in my final year at college. 2, COVID. And 3, I've just been doing other stuff. But now that I just got signed to an agency here, I'm hoping I can kind of get back into modeling again over the next year or so. Yeah.
What kind of got you into that, like going from like behind the camera to like subject?
It's weird because actually last week was my birthday and I was home just to see family and stuff, and I was going through an old videotapes and stuff that my mom digged out and my little sister digged out, and I didn't realize that I was the one who was behind the camera most of the time in all of those things, and I was looking back at old photos and stuff from when we went on holidays, and it was usually me who was shooting. So I think unknowingly I've always kind of enjoyed being behind the camera. I remember the first time I actively tried taking photos was like with this HTC phone that I got. It's HTC H8 or some. I can't remember the name. But it's like this metal body. I remember I wanted it because it was at the time was considered to be like the top of the line phone for photography, for Android phone for photography and stuff, and so I got it for that, but it was broken when I got it. Like, the guy who sold it to me was secondhand. I was young, it was like 15, 16 or whatever, and it was broken, and I just wasn't arsed going asking him, or I just didn't have the balls to go ask him for the money back or whatever, or to change it when I was younger, and so anyway, kept the phone, but the camera had like a tint, like this purple tint on it that I just grew to like, and I was like, it made all the images look a little bit more interesting. I think since then I've just kept taking photos. But I think it definitely was weird when I kind of came into photography again after like post modeling, kind of actually sit down and think about the fact that it's like, okay, I kind of understand a little better the relationship that I can have with the model. It can either be really, because with some modeling situations it can be sterile, or it can be very like stand there or whatever. It's really annoying when the photographer can't direct you or speak to you properly or doesn't know what to say and stuff. It's just like you're like, oh no, you're doing it wrong. But now having modeled before and kind of knowing that, going through that experience made it a lot easier for me now to kind of to take photos of people and like, or know what I need to do, make sure I like build a little bit of a relationship with them, and like make sure I kind of know them, and I'm also real selective with who I shoot with as well. I don't really I don't shoot commercially or anything like that. I've been asked to do things, but I've kind of shied away from them. There was one project that I was like really enjoying doing, but it was the perfect project for me because I actually had to go and interact with people and talk to people. It wasn't just like a fashion shoot or whatever. And I wouldn't mind doing those type of shoots as well, but I'd rather do them like on my terms, and not everyone is open to like letting you do that, which is fair.
So how important is like your own direction then when you're approaching a project? Are you like?
It's important, but it's not supreme. It's not always. It's not like the thing with creativity is it's usually best when it's done collaboratively, and it's like all creative, everything creative, as far as I'm concerned, I think, is collaborative. Whether you like it or not, like if you're painting on a canvas, someone made that paintbrush that you're using, someone made that paint, you're collaborating with that paint maker. If they didn't make those colors the exact same, the way they made it, you wouldn't be able to get the same thing. So I think a lot of people, creative people, tend to forget that you're not a singularity, and it doesn't like it takes a million pieces to make a jigsaw puzzle, make an image. Like you need all the different pieces that come together, and I think it's the same thing when I'm working with other people. I know my role. It's always best if they understand my role too, or like where my strong suits points are. I also try to respect theirs and give them the creative freedom if they want to have it as well. Because not everyone. Sometimes people just want you just handle everything, and that's I love those situations when you find people who fully trust you and trust your creativity, and let you go all out. But like it needs to be collaborative for the most part. I think you need to like have a kind of like a bouncing back and forth to make sure that you're getting the best result. Because I hate doing things multiple times or like going back and forth, like always change. Like I hate that all that kind of stuff is just long. It's like let's just have conversations all the way through and make sure that we're both on the same page, like as we're kind of going through whatever project it is, if that's the type of project we're doing, or you're giving me creative freedom. And if you're giving me creative freedom, you're giving me creative freedom.
I remember even when we did our shoot, like same sort of thing like you're saying, even to bring it back to the like you modeling and doing photography, like you were like the first model pretty much that I'd ever shot with that was also like pointing out spots to shoot at and pointing out different things, and it was actually sick though because it added so much more to it. I think I even said it to you on the shoot, like, but it added so much more to like
some people don't, some photography, like sometimes I shy away from doing that sometimes. If I try read the room and try my best to like, because some people will be like, oh, it's my shit, like or whatever. Like I'm just like, I'm not even like, it's obviously it's your shoot, like I'm just saying that would be a nice spot for me to stand.
No, because like we were walking through different parts and you were pointing out spots and pointing out different things we could do, or like even like outfit changes or whatever. But no, it was sick. Like I really enjoyed that as well, having that kind of like it's collaboration.
Good. You were good to shoot with as well, like, because you definitely made it more. You made it. You were easy. You took it easy, and like the shots came out banging as well. Like I must put up more.
Yeah, that's what I try to do when I'm like first shooting with someone. Just like go on a walk or go around wherever and just talk to them for a bit first. Like
that's the best.
Like because then you get to know them, and then next time, like if I needed you for something more specific, then it's like, okay, we've already built a relationship, like we can talk about this, we can go through it more, figure it out and collaborate better on it, because you kind of know how I work, I know how you work.
Yeah, exactly.
So it always works better, I think, when you do that first, like when you build a relationship with the people first.
Do you feel like you kind of learned that approach though, like as you were creating more? Like do you feel like it helped?
What approach?
Like speaking to people before you work with them.
See, the majority of people that I shot are my friends.
Yeah.
So like 90% of the pictures I've taken, I'd say, are just of friends or people that I've met or interact with, and a lot of them are taken in passing where people don't even know, like they don't know that I'm shooting or whatever. And like sometimes, like right now, I shouldn't even be saying this, but like I've been a little bit afraid to kind of get back taking photos because it's been a few months. Two, also I kind of wanted to. Like one of the reasons I'm shy to go back is because I know when I used to have my camera around, it became a thing after a while. It's like Farouk's a shooter, like it's like, and that's not like sometimes I like doing that, but more time I just want to have my camera and just like if I want to shoot, I want to shoot. Like it's not, I don't want to make it into a job or whatever, and it's not like I don't want everyone to like every time Farouk is there, it's there to take photos or whatever. Like I don't. If I like capturing authentic raw vibes as opposed to overly just like people post like doing like, you know, when people are like, you know what I mean, like all like I think they're cool sometimes. There's a time and place, but I think I prefer when I can capture like authentic moments or whatever and like just keep things raw. And I don't really I tried street photography and I just couldn't really bang it out. Like someone like Evan, he's sick, he's very good with street photography and stuff, but it's just not really. I try to do it every once in a while, but like I prefer just if I can capture just the situations.
So is photography more of like, it sounds like it's more documenting things
Exactly.
than like trying to make something new, if you get me.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I love I love the idea of documenting. I've always loved just whatever documenting where I am, what I'm doing, etc. In one way, shape, or form. Like in first year college, it was making vlogs for like the first semester, and then it was taking photos and always just having a camera on me like for literally 2 years straight, or 3 years straight. And yeah, I do love documenting, I guess. Yeah.
So during the lockdown, as I'm sure you've been more, well, you do motion graphics mainly, but it's like it's more inside and more like at your computer.
Literally.
Do you feel like you've had much to express in terms of, because you have less to document in terms of course, like your day-to-day life?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's limited you in a way?
Like the lockdowns and stuff.
Yeah, like kind of the difference in lifestyle in terms of your need to express.
Yeah, like not being able to go out and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. No, 1000%. Because like, I think it's like I know I mentioned before we started like it'd be good if I could talk about mental health and stuff, because of at the start of the year, like I was just super depressed, like, and like as I'm sure loads of people were like being locked at home and stuff, and I was living here on my own basically for like months or whatever, and saw people here and there, but like didn't see that many people and stuff for like long periods of time. And obviously that's difficult and stuff, but like then it kind of trickles into, you realize that your creativity comes from your experiences usually. Like you can't just pull it out of your head, and then you get frustrated at yourself because you can't pull it out of your head, and my thought process was, I used to be able to just do this so effortlessly. All these ideas would come pouring in. I always had ideas, like I just couldn't do my ideas quick enough, you know. And I had literally stacks of notebooks and stuff or whatever, and it just came so easy. And that's the same with a lot of creative people. And then lockdown, and then it's like all that stimulus, being able to go out, see people, interact, like vibe out, whatever, like all of that is just stripped away, and then nothing. And then like for the first few months you're still working off like the trickles off the bits of stimulus that you had before the lockdown, and that might last some people out for a few months, but then it's just nothing.
So did it turn to like a kind of frustration?
It was so frustrating, and then it's like, oh shit, like I hate, I'm like, what, like, what have I done with my life? Where's my work? It's like beating myself up. Like everyone always said, like so many people have said to me that I'm too hard on myself with like how I with my work and stuff and whatever else, but you need to be like to a certain extent, but like I think I went in way too deep, and it was just damaging on my mental health.
But the maddest thing as well is like from an outside perspective, like saying just looking at like your Instagram, because that's where I see most of you you wouldn't have thought that you went through, because you still post and stuff. And I've had this conversation with people over the last like maybe 2 or 3 months as well, where like people that I know that like do photography or do whatever, like they make stuff, they paint or whatever, they'd be like, oh yeah, you never stop, like you're always posting stuff. But then I'm talking to them, I'm like, yeah, but there's been times like over the last year where like for a month or two I haven't made anything. Like I've sat in my room and watched like The Office on Netflix for 8 hours a day and not made anything. And then you beat yourself up about that, but kind of over the last like year or so I've realised that you can't really beat yourself up for not having ideas for a couple of weeks, because then there was a time like maybe like for 3 weeks where I didn't make anything, and then I sat down one weekend and made like 5 t-shirt designs. So it's like there's always going to be those times, like for anyone who makes stuff, there's always going to be those times where, like you're saying, like there's not enough stimulus around you or whatever's happening in your life, you don't have enough or any ideas at the time, but then everything just comes pouring back in again. It's kind of like a cycle. Fully.
And you know what, the best advice I ever got given, I think creatively, was by Sean Curtin, who's now like one of my like creative partners down in Limerick, and he told me he didn't even really know me like that. Like he like we met through like the Limerick branding project that I worked on, and he had seen some of the stuff that I had done. I'd showed him some stuff or whatever, told him what I was working on. He's like, you need to take a break, and I was like, haha, yeah, I need to take a break, whatever. I need to take a break. And I was like, okay. And whenever I'd see him, he'd always be like, have you taken a break, or you need to take a break, etc. And I had taken like days off, or like 2-3 days off, or take a week off, whatever, etc. And like I would be like, oh, I just took a break, you know. But like my days off were not really
they're not days off.
My days off were like I'm still thinking about ideas. I'm still writing down stuff. I'm still got my laptop on me. I've got my camera on me. And like, and I was like, oh, I am taking breaks, you know. But I was still like having struggles here and there, whatever. And then COVID hit. Like, and I didn't have a choice but to take a break because I was stuck at home like everyone else for time, and I was like just there, me, the mirror, like home, nothing else. Just like you have to talk, you need to like communicate and like speak to yourself and actually actively take a break. And like that means literally doing nothing and purposefully being like, I'm just gonna sit at home and I'm gonna watch Netflix for this week. Like that's all I'm on. Like don't contact me. Don't want just me and the TV or whatever it is you want to just chill out, but like make sure you need to take, because if those breaks are where you can really find like you can level up yourself. You can like I certainly noticed that when I did end up having to take that forced break and then actively taking breaks since I work a lot less, but I work a lot smarter. I'm way more efficient with the work that I do. And even though like I do still beat myself up from time to time, even very recently, when I come out of those ruts, I find it so much easier to get back into work. And like the work that I do a lot quicker. Like there was a period there, like in January, when I was like super depressed, my head was just not there. I was like still working away and trying to work at stuff and stuff, but like I just wasn't there 100%. And it's mad because like when I look back now, I actually did put out some like crazy work at that time, but after that I had to take a break. I just had to, my body was just wouldn't let me. I couldn't function any further. Like my body just crashed basically, and I burnt out for like a few weeks or for like a month potentially, and I just didn't do anything for that time. And then when I did come back, like literally the first day I got through so much work. Like I literally flew. I was like I didn't know I could work that way. I mean, like I was just like fuck, and then everything just pouring out of me, all the ideas. But like you need those purposeful breaks, and that's being with your friends, like chill, like. But you just need to give yourself that time out. Because I used to be of the mindset that like you need to be working 100% of the time at 100%.
Because someone else is gonna be working.
Exactly, like you know what I mean? But I think once you kind of get it in your head as well that like in this life, what's meant to be for you will be for you if you move towards it. Like you need to set your goals, and then you need to realize that everyone else is on their own individual path. I don't compete, and I've always said this to people, I don't compete with anyone or any like in anything that I do. I don't compete. Like I'm in my own lane. I know what I'm doing, and you can compete with me if you want, but I'm just all right. You like be my guest. Like, I'm not competing with you. Like I'm competing with myself and the greatest, like the greatest people who I look up to, who are dead for the most part. They're the people I'm competing against.
I think you need to. So I can't remember who I was talking to about like a good while ago, but they were talking about, it might have been you actually. Like just setting unrealistic standards for the now. But kind of like compete. Like there's no point in competing with. Like you're saying, like you have to compete with the people who are the best. The best in the world. Like you can't compete with like somebody you know from down the road or someone from your estate. Because there's no point. Like you have to compare yourself to the people who are the best, to the people who were the best when they were alive, and that's how you get to be the best as well.
Like your best is slowest in the group than fastest.
Exactly.
Like obviously.
You're better off being the worst in the room. And being surrounded by all people who are better than you. Than I can't remember the saying exactly, but something like that.
Do you feel kind of pressure though still from like Instagram and stuff? Like I know you were saying that even when you were going through things, that you would still post and still like
put out work.
Do you feel like even not even just money, but like that you kind of have to keep this personality?
I think social media pressure, for me personally, I definitely used to be like oh, I need to post or whatever, like to make sure. But like now, like over the last while, I kind of don't really care too much. And I think a lot of people, like I think my social media is a complete mess. Because like it's so convoluted, like, and there's just so much going on, but I don't really mind, because at the end of the day I know who I'm doing it for, and it's for me. Like it's just I kind of I try my best to use my social media just for like fun, Sometimes I take the piss, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's whatever. It's just whatever mood I'm in, you'll get it. The only thing that I wish I'm hoping to start sharing a little bit more of is kind of like kind of talking more about mental health side and stuff, and like making sure that like people realize that, yeah, even if I am still putting out work whenever I'm putting out work or putting out whatever I'm putting out, like I do struggle, like I do go through hard, just like literally everyone else on this planet, like, you know what I mean, everyone has those days or whatever, and people need to realize that. Like I think what helped me out getting out of those situations as well is also realizing that other people struggle like through the same pain. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't share that. A lot of people who do well or whatever are doing their own thing don't share that side of it as well, and let people know that it's okay if you're not doing well today, you can still get to where I am or where you're going, etc. You just need to be gentle with yourself and let yourself take it easy on yourself every once in a while or whatever. But I think social media is just like it can be a weird space. Like one of my friends said to me, Els, that like you should just view it as a tool, because that's what it is at the end of the day. Like it's a tool for communicating, for sharing, and for meeting new people potentially. Like, you know what I mean, that's all you should use it for, and that's all I try to use it for now. Like, it's just share my work, try and meet new people, and like share good vibes and stuff, and try and put out good energies and stuff.
Because I think in that, like when you're in that sort of headspace, like you're saying, it looks like a lot of the time, because no matter what, there'll be someone who's posting, like some other photographer or some other graphic designer or whatever, so it looks like everyone is always working,
exactly
like you're saying. So it is a bad it can be bad. It can put you in like the wrong mindset to think that you have to also be working 100% of the time.
So is it more so now about capturing like who you are rather than like who you want to be, if you get me?
Yeah, well, I am who I want to be. Like, you know what I mean, I'm not, I think I've done a lot of work on myself, in terms of just trying to grow as a human being and trying to just be true to the kid that my parents raised, like, and like and be my own person as well, and make sure that I'm the best, trying to, and I still have a lot of growing to do, as everyone does, but I think I'm happy with who I am, and I love myself, and you know, even saying that, like, is like, I've always had that mentality of like, you need to love yourself. I remember one of the very first interviews I did years ago, and when I looked back at it like a few months ago, one of the things I said was just like self-love. You know, it was massive. What did I say? It was like self-love instead of self-comparison or something along those lines. Because if we spend so much time like comparing and looking at, especially with socials and stuff, it's like looking at, like you said, someone else is always posting work, or like someone else, like, oh, why am I doing this? And then it's like, and then you're just holding yourself down, like, you know what I mean? Instead of remembering, like, your relationship with yourself is so important. Like, and if you can't tell yourself you love yourself every once in a while when you need to hear it, and when no one else is around to hear it, like, it's like your life is going to be a lot more difficult, like, you know. So I'm fortunate that I put in the work into myself, and I'm still doing it to try and be a better person, so I can love myself and make sure that I am the type of person that I want to see in the world as well, and try and share the same energy and vibes to people as well, and let people know whatever. I hope that I feel like I'm rambling now.
No, it's good. Was that kind of a big part of maturity then for you? Not even just as like a creator, but like as a
I think I'm still very immature, you know, like in a lot of ways, but I've always been like more mature than my age. A lot of people have always said to me and stuff, with certain things. I think I don't always know when, but like I know that there is a time and a place for different parts. Like, I think the one thing that I like don't want to lose, and I was petrified of losing over COVID and over the lockdowns and stuff, is just like my childishness and my buzz, and like being, because I wasn't able to see that side of myself because I wasn't with other people. I know that side usually comes out a lot, but like now it's starting to come out when I'm just me on my J's, which is good. But sorry, ask me that question again.
Just about, do you feel like learning to love yourself and to be yourself was a big part of like maturing?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. It helped so much with it definitely. Basically, yeah.
What's it called?
I can't remember where that was going.
What else have you, like, kind of in your work? What have you learned from stuff that wasn't creative? If you get me, like, what? Not even just advice, but like how you approach things. What was just things you did growing up Like say like martial arts or something that taught you discipline or.
Yeah. Well, I think in a weird way, I've been starting to see a lot of correlations in the world and the way the world operates, and in the way a lot of structures in the world operate very similarly. A lot of like ancient structures, especially religion, and how those have affected me and how I've grown up. Like, I've just realized that like it's like we're a product of, not always, but like we're a product of what we're surrounded by, and it's up to the individual to hopefully have like the mental stability enough to kind of realize that you can pull yourself away from that and look at it objectively and decide what aspects of the structure apply to me. Like for me, I grew up in a Muslim household. My family's Muslim, and like I learned a lot about culture and how to respect people, respect yourself, etc. Like all that kind of stuff from religion, and also growing up in an African household, as I'm sure you know, like there's a lot that comes with that, like in terms of learning about respect for people and in general, and then respecting yourself, respecting others, etc. And like just like growing up black in a black household, you learn a lot. Like I obviously don't know what the experience is elsewhere, but I know like a lot of who I am today is from my parents and like how they raised me, what they told me, what they taught me, and also like bits from Islam as well, and just like learning, and then also learning from other people, like and being open to learn from other people, exactly, and being, I think, never, I don't know, I try my best not to like, this is 100% the fact, and I'm always gonna believe this 100% of the time, because if then it's like anything can happen, like, you know what I mean, and there's people need to be open to change, like, and that's why there's a lot of problems in the world today, is because of people aren't open to the change. They get an idea and they see that as the end goal, you know. And I believe that things should always be refined as opposed to defined, and like it should always be something that's evolving and growing and changing to best accommodate whatever the current situation is, like, you know what I mean. There should be tradition, but there should also be objectiveness as to what's in front of you.
You know? So not.
Yeah, so do you think that kind of like what was I gonna say? Oh no. Like the kind of like never like sticking to like one thing and being open to change and stuff like that. Do you think that bleeds into your art then an awful lot?
Yeah.
Because like that's like, even when you were asking kind of like before we said like what's the goal for Korpse, what you want to do with Korpse, I feel like that's what it kind of is. It's like this thing that we haven't a sort of an idea what we want to do, but it always changes, and we always want to go into different avenues and different veins based off like who we talk to on the podcast, or who we talk to like on a shoot, or who we meet during our lives and stuff like that. So do you feel like that kind of like bleeds into your art an awful lot, and that's why kind of maybe you want to be like a multidisciplinary artist?
No, 100% bleeds into like my mind frame with work, because I think the way I try to do work is I hate the idea of being a singular, or like I only do one thing. I've never liked being like people being like, oh, you need to just be one thing, you need to be a doctor, you need to be, or whatever it is, like you need to just be like a graphic designer or a typist or whatever, or you need to be a poster or whatever, like just narrowing yourself down to just one thing. And I have ADHD as well, like, and I get like I'll just get bored of whatever it is, like eventually over time, like it'll happen. But I think it makes more sense to just be a creator. Like I would consider myself to be like, I guess, an image maker. Stealing that from Jean-Paul Gaultier, that's what he called himself, as an image maker and just an artist, you know, just someone who creates stuff that tries to connect with other people. And under that umbrella of being an image creator or an image maker and an artist, there's so many different facets of things, and there's so many exciting things in the world as well. There's things that interest me, there's things that don't interest me, but I'm gonna try the ones that interest me, like, and I'm not gonna not do stuff because of I'm just a graphic designer. You know, there's a lot of people who kind of get into that mindset of like, I'm a designer, so I'm not going to look at anything else. I'm going to just focus, and which is okay, because you do need people who can specialize and like go really, really deep into things. But I don't think it's for everyone. Like, you know, everyone. I think people are different. Like, there's gonna there's going to be people who want to go down that route, and then there's going to be people who want to go down maybe the route that I'm kind of taking, which is kind of ebbing and flowing and going through and just creating stuff.
Yeah.
The main disadvantage that I've noticed anyway recently, with that sort of mindset of letting myself kind of do loads of different bits is I don't know if my work has a look yet.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or like if it's like has a recognizable thing, and that's something I'm working towards developing, is making sure that that my work is recognizable. I think for me, my work, I always try and just push boundaries or whatever it is that I do or put out, like just personal boundaries in terms of like creatively and making sure I'm doing the right thing, or like doing whatever's next up, or leveling up bit by bit with each project. But I lost my train of thought just there.
Yeah, no worries. Just to backtrack a bit, actually, you mentioned being raised Muslim, like I was myself as well. But like, for example, we're currently in Ramadan, not to timestamp it or anything. But the like Ramadan is more so about philosophy than it is about just like discipline. It's about like appreciating what you have and such.
Yeah.
What would you say are culturally, what do you think you've gained the most in terms of how you approach not even just work but life?
Yeah.
In terms of philosophy from Nigeria and being Muslim.
Yeah, I think from Nigeria, definitely the mentality of just keep moving. Like, you know what I mean? If you go to Niger, like you just see that like the stuff that people get upset over here is like, what? Like, what are you on? Like, if you think you have a work ethic, you need to go to Nigeria. Like, you see work ethic. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I definitely get my work ethic and like my drive and being able to kind of like just try and move forward and like just keep the ball rolling, probably from being born Nigerian and raised in a Nigerian home. So that's definitely come through there. And then from Islam, I think it's something that I'm still figuring out a lot. Like, you know what I mean, with faith is always something that like I think you're always kind of developing and growing, or should be at least. And it's something that I'm trying to grow and develop in myself. I think Ramadan is specifically obviously is a special period for like multiple reasons beyond obviously fasting and like I think it's a time to kind of prove. And like you can use it to reset. You can also use it to prove to yourself, like you can, I can do this. I can achieve this goal. And then it's like, once you, it's like I think it's deeper than just like, it's meant to show you so much more than you can fast for 30 days. Like you can fast for 30 days. You can do almost anything. Like you can do this, but you can literally set your mind to a goal. I'm gonna do this. It's gonna get done. I'm gonna do it. Like it's just, if you take that same energy and mentality into anything that you're trying to do, like you're flying. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like it's definitely helped me just realize that you can just keep doing stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I think I don't know, it's always weird talking about religion and stuff or whatever, because there's so much politics around it now and whatever. But
I feel like that's the thing, kind of, not to make it political or anything, but like zakat is such a big part of Ramadan. Like, it's like what if one day if you, however much money you donate, it's supposed to be like 100 times of what you're supposed to, but we don't know what day.
Say that again?
Zakat.
Yeah.
That one of the days, if you donate, it's supposed to be worth 100 times of what it actually is when you're going into heaven.
Really? Wow.
But like, people don't recognize that Islam is so much about being a better person.
Yeah.
And actually, like when people say, oh, it's a religion of peace, all this and that, but if you actually look at it, at no point does it say actually go and kill people, actually go and do this. It's
and
just,
you know what the thing is, like with a lot of religions and a lot of writing is like, or with a lot of almost everything is like, if you look past the headlines, like, and just go and actually do your own research, you realize that the majority of the stuff that you hear from people is bullshit. You know, because of like how many people actually take the time to dive deep into situations or dive deep into things, or even just read an article like the whole way through, not just the headline. It's like when you go past the surface level, you'll always, like, not always, but you'll more than likely learn something new, or see the deeper picture. And like most faiths are like that. Like I don't know of many faiths that are like telling people like go kill this guy. It's like it's all interpretation as well. Like, and a lot of people misinterpret a lot of things, and it's like, which is unfortunate because that's where things get muddied and like things people start looking down on things, and then they have an opinion, and then their opinion is based off bullshit, and then they stick with that opinion, and they share that opinion, and then someone else has that opinion that's based off that person's bullshit, and then no one ever does the research for themselves to like learn more and realize that like that was all bullshit. Like just form your own opinions, like, and just don't try not to just take on opinions based off what other people, even if people that you like, you don't know, you need to spend time, if it's something that you care about, really do your own research like with it. Like, I mean, I think the value of just like going deep into figuring out stuff for yourself and coming up with your own opinion, and that's part of like my own growth journey as well. What I try to do is making sure that my opinions are based off my knowledge, not other people telling me you should do this, you should do that. And I've always been very bold, like I guess kind of bold with like doing what I'm told from like my parents and stuff or whatever. But like it's made me also realize that I just need to I want to know why do I have to do things that way, like why should I have to do this that way, why should I whatever, like I want to know why. No, I don't want you to just tell me that that's it and like that's it. It's like okay, why? Tell me more. I've always been like curious, and like it's one of the things on the wall is just curiosity and like wanting to, like they're my 3 pillars, I guess, like creativity, curiosity, and balance. Like so, like for me, I think just being curious and like figuring out what's the deeper thing, like why are people saying that you shouldn't follow Islam because of this, that, and the other or whatever, like why what's the actual thing, and then it's like once you read it and you figure out, it's like okay, you're wrong. Like, I'm never gonna listen to you again. And then it's like, I don't know. But like when you do that a few times, you realize that a lot of the opinions and stuff in the world is all bullshit. Like you know, because it's just talk.
Yeah, because even for me, like I didn't even know it. Like all I thought Ramadan was just fasting. Yeah. Until I spoke to you, and then you explained like all the other aspects to it as well. And then you kind of realize that it is just, I don't know what you were saying when I was sorting out the camera out, but like it's kind of teaching you how to be a better person overall. And like teaching you discipline more than anything else. I don't know if you said that already. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but it teaches you to be focused on what's important.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
well, like, you know, because if you don't have like you've got a select amount of energy in the day. As a result of like fast, because I know my day kind of usually since Ramadan kind of ends at about 5 or 6. Like I can just the most I can really push myself. Fortunately, I get up relatively early, not as early as I used to now, but early enough, and I can kind of bang out work. But like I know each day I need to be know what I need to be focused on and what's the most important thing. And I wasn't really doing a great job of that prior to Ramadan this year. I was just kind of just doing things or whatever, like just do whatever I need to do, as opposed to like being a bit more things. So like that's what I mean by like it's the time as well to like refine and refocus things and reset, and like you know this, you can use it how you want to. It's up to you. You know, you decide what you want to do with it. Like, and I love as well seeing like friends and stuff taking it on. Like some of my friends did some fasting this year, like just for themselves, like and just to try it out or whatever and stuff. And I think it's good because it's like when you're pushing yourself to show you can do this thing, you can fast, and 2, it's like you're disciplined. You know, discipline is huge. I think. It's just showing up, you know.
Do you think that's sort of like you're saying, the curiosity you had like when you're younger and about different things? Do you think then it seems like it does, because I tried like 3D graphics and stuff like that, and I just hated it. It's so long, man. But do you think that sort of curiosity like helps you then when, because we were talking earlier about like sort of like there's some people who just want to hone in on one thing kind of and get really good at that one thing, and there's other people who want to do loads of different things. But a lot of the time when people do like a lot of different things, because I myself like have like maybe 4 or 5 things that I like to do, like obviously photography and videos would be my main thing, design and stuff like graphic design.
You do design as well.
Yeah, he does design as well. So then do you think kind of that curiosity then helps you not become one of those like multidisciplinary artists, that because you see some of them that they're kind of like decent or they're good at everything but they're not great at any one thing. Do you think that sort of like curiosity helps you to be the best at each of those things you try?
I don't know. I certainly don't think I'm the best at it.
No, but not the best in terms of the whole world, but the best that you can be.
Yeah. Not always. It depends on the medium. Like graphic design, I studied graphic design for 4 years, so I had to get good at it, or I had to learn the principles or whatever and learn it. I had to be okay at it or decent at it, and I came out being pretty good at it, or being decent enough at it. And same with like 3D. Like I think it's, I don't know. It's a tough one because you don't. When you obviously when you specialize, you learn every single facet of everything possible. But I think, for me, the way my approach to a lot of these, to like, I take it quite an artistic approach, and I try my best to like tell stories through my work, and sometimes I'm the only person who knows what that story is, and sometimes other people can make up their own stories. I think it's amazing when people make up their own stories for your work and create their own relationship. But the reason I bring that up is because of my focus isn't necessarily being the best at the medium that I used to tell that story. My focus is making sure that I tell that story in the best possible way.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I enjoy using multiple mediums as well, is because of, if I need to tell a story that is best told, I'll know, I wouldn't know that story is best told through 3D or through photography if I hadn't done 3D or photography or print or video. Like I've done so many different bits here and there, like over the years, that was like, it's just like, it's more like a resource. It's more that I know that thing exists, and if I need to get good at it again, I'll get good at it so I can make sure I can tell this story properly. You know what I mean? And I don't know, I'm weird, like I'm like, I love nerding out and like just diving deep. Whenever if I catch a flow and I find a medium that I really want to get into, I'll just spend like weeks on it and I just learn everything. And I'm really lucky that I'm a fast learner and I actually enjoy the process of learning things. Like I love learning, like I've always loved learning things. But if I'm like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. Like I've always been the type of person, I'll just figure it out, whatever it is that I need to figure out. Otherwise I'll ask for help.
So how do you know which medium then? Does it just like come to you naturally? Like have you
How
ever...
do I know what medium?
Like say you're focused on 3D design, like it becomes your main thing at the time. But you have an idea that you know works for photography better as such. Like how do you know when you have the narratives, how do you pick which, or do you feel it's just flexible over?
Like sometimes it's objective, sometimes it's not that objective. Sometimes it's like I'll force the medium, like, you know what I mean. I'll force the medium, which can be good because then you're kind of, I'm usually pushing things to like the next, to like a different level than I would have before. But then sometimes it's just like, sometimes some things you just need to take photos, like you just need to do it in a photo or in a video. Recently I haven't really had many projects where I needed to, but also I think because of the way I work as well, like I'm selective with what I work on and like who I work with as well. So like I usually work on projects that make sense for the medium that I'm working in at that time, usually. So like if like the projects I'm working on at the moment are usually, they're more digital based, they're like the Glide website just got launched today. And like what other stuff that I'm working on that's coming out soon and stuff, like most of them are like kind of digital. But then I'm still working, like at the same time, like I'm working still within photography. Like I'm working on a project that's down in Limerick at the moment that hopefully will be coming out in the next few weeks. That's photo based, but I'm not taking the photos. I've got a creative partner who's taking the photos, but the ideas are mine for the project. And I love working that way as well. Like doing it collaboratively, because I have the idea, and I think it makes sense to do this through photos. I just get someone who I know is sick of photos to take the photos, who's love doing it. Like it's also spreading whatever, spreading energies and stuff. And we went into that project together, which was good. But like, just stuff like that. Like if I don't want to take photos at the time, I'll either get someone else to take them for me, or just figure out, or just take them myself, like if I have to. But like I haven't really taken photos in a few months or whatever, so
like you've kind of said a lot about like people approaching you with ideas, and then how you approach that. Like you either, like if you're gonna have creative freedom, you're gonna have like full when it comes to your own ideas, how often do you approach people with like, oh, I want to do this, or how often are you like, I'm just gonna figure out myself how to do this?
I used to be very much, I'm gonna figure out myself how to do this, and I used to just do everything on my own, and it's probably one of the reasons why I did learn so many different mediums as well, because I wanted to be able to just do stuff. But also it's because I understand that people, it's very difficult to find people who will be equally as passionate about your idea as you. And in order to have the dialogue, to even get help, you need to be able to know what you're asking for. You can't just be like, you know what I mean? You need to be able to communicate and let them know, I want my pictures this, I want this, that. But like when we were shooting together, exactly, like I knew where to point. I need to be like, it'd be sick if we shot in that corner, whatever, etc. It's like good to be able to have those conversations, because it makes both your lives a lot easier, whoever you're working with. But to go back to your question, in terms of sorry, ask that again. Just
kind of
about
like, how often do you nowadays have like a full idea and like a full setting,
and then take it to other people?
Take the other people to work on as well.
So I've been like, I guess more professionally or more commercially, I've been pitching projects to like Limerick and like to other people and stuff as well. But I actually do like taking projects to people. Like if I've got an idea for like with a brand, like I've got like a collab coming up soon, that I just said to the company, I was like, yo, here, and I did the idea out, like for like I made a sample of what I wanted, what the idea was, and was able to kind of show them, this is my idea and this is the thought, I'd be sick to deal with you guys, 'cause I fuck with what you guys are doing, we got a lot of stuff, blah blah blah, and they were like, yeah, we fuck with it, we'll do it, and then like, well, we've been working on it for a few months and stuff. But I think that's probably the route I will take personally with my creativity, or my artistic career, is like trying to collaborate with organizations and brands and taking my ideas to them, and then also vice versa. If they've got ideas and stuff, I'll listen, but like if it doesn't make sense for me, I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
So say you've been working on a project, say for months, like even much longer than you expected. How do you know when it's done? Like how do you know when you're fully satisfied and like, this is what I want to show to the world?
That's a cookie. I don't know. I think it's always difficult. Like I don't know. I'm very hard on myself, I think, with my creativity and my work, because I always want it to be the best. Like, and that's like almost impossible. Like I don't know. I'll never be fully 100% happy. But I usually when I get gassed, like, you know, when you feel like, fuck, this shit is hard. Once I get that feeling, I'm like, all right, I'm okay with letting it go now. Even though I know that there might still be a few little bits here and there that maybe I would like to tweak, and usually it's always in retrospect that I see that. I'm like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. But then it's like not focusing too much or dwelling, because once it's out, it's out. It's like, all right, whatever that I said I was going to change there, I'll make sure I apply it to the next project. You know what I mean?
Because if you just do that for one project, you're never gonna release anything.
It's
always.
And like most of the stuff I even put out on socials they're all just like a lot of unfinished, like just animations or snippets and stuff that are ideas and stuff that I just tried out. But then I also have I've got like over 10,000 photos in my Lightroom that I've just never put out, or whatever, and like a lot of them probably won't see the light of day because I just don't really care to share them yet or whatever. Or maybe they will, like eventually. Like I'd love to do like a massive photo exhibition if there's any galleries out there that want to take whatever. But like I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's always hard to kind of whenever like I said, whenever I get that gassed feeling, then I'm like, okay, I'm okay with letting it go. I'll let it go.
So then, what would you say? What one piece? I know it's a very like specific question. There's probably not any one piece, but what would you say you're your proudest of that you've made, and why so?
Proudest. I don't know. That's a tough one, because there's proudest in the sense of like personal proudest, and then proudest is like probably made my parents the proudest. Probably my own personal proudest or my favorite recent project. Even though like I think there's so many things I would change about it to make it better, is the Urban Native project that I put out recently with that I did with Owen. She, like, I love that project because I was able to kind of touch on like my Nigerian heritage, you know, and like incorporate that into my work, and it's the first time I've done that. So I love that project for that reason. But then probably like my proudest achievement or career achievement thus far is probably the Limerick brand, doing that, because of like I didn't like when I was doing that, like I was just doing it, like I was just doing my job basically, and it was great or whatever. And then after when they launched it, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, this is pretty big, whatever, like everyone's talking about it, cool, whatever. And then like this year, I think like maybe actually it was this year, like around the anniversary, the 1 year anniversary of it, I actually just sat and I just thought about it. And then like a few times when I've seen like the logo around on things, or like in shops, or like on trucks, and like whatever, I was like, fuck, that motherfucker's there to stay. Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit's there for like life, like you know, for definitely long, hopefully past my lifetime, but like whatever, like but it's just a piece of history for Limerick, like, you know what I mean? And it was nice to just leave something there, like, but like just, I don't know, it's just mad. I think it's like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of designers kind of wait a long time in their career to kind of have like something in their portfolio that's like just there, you know what I mean? That's like quite significant, because that's, I don't know, for me anyway, like I'm gassed about that now. Thinking about it, like that's actually quite mad. I never really sat down and actually like thought about how mad, and I think it was cool as well to be like being a black designer as well, was responsible for that as well, and I like that. I like the fact that that is something that will hopefully go down in some history book or somewhere or whatever, if that happens or whatever.
So do you feel like in like it's usually in reflection then that you'd kind of find more of like pride? Like, do you feel like at the time you ever really, like, I know it's, of course you can never really see the full ocean if you're only swimming in one place, but what do you think comes to you after, when you see what you've done in the past, and when you see your own work in a place like with the Limerick brand?
I think a lot of stuff does come in retrospect, but like it's hard, like you said, it's hard to see an ocean and you're just swimming in one spot, like, I mean, or see the full sea or whatever, but I think that's better usually, especially for the type of work, because I know it's something that I try to like battle against myself, is ego, and I said it to a few of my friends, like that's one of the things I wanted to get better at, or self-development at, is like not having an ego, or like not having an ego with my work or myself, or like but like still loving myself, and still like thinking that I'm amazing and my work, and still loving my work and stuff, but like not in a egotistic way, like even if I am the best, like I'm great, like, you know, people who are just like they have like, who are like, you know what I mean, like you're a human being, like we're human beings, my heart beats, your heart beats, like I try to see everyone as the exact same, or on the same level, like, and as a result of that, like it's hard to have an ego if you know that other people can do what you can do or whatever, but I just know that I do it my way, you know what I mean, and that's what's important to me. But like, I think if you're focused on that ego thing in the moment, and like you do absolve, like, oh, this is unreal or whatever, but like if it depends how you do it. Like if you take it in an egotistic way, like, oh, people are asking me to do interviews and shit, or people are blah 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 blah. Like if you take like that in an egotistic way, you could just end up fucking yourself up. Like, it was like I don't know. No one really, like, people don't really, I don't think people really fuck with that. Like, kindness wins every time. The biggest mistake you'll make in life, I think, is, or a lot of people make in life, is mistaking kindness for weakness, you know?
So it's more self-value then than it is like ego,
Exactly. I think it's like, just don't be an asshole.
I think also the thing you're saying kind of about like taking it in sort of an egotistical way before it's released, like say when you submitted the thing for Limerick originally, you're almost setting yourself up for disappointment then, in a way, because like say if you make something and you're like, this is the sickest thing I've ever made, blah 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 whatever, and then you release it and it doesn't go the way you planned, or someone's like, oh no, we don't want it this way, we want it a different way, like every single time you're almost like setting yourself up to be disappointed, kind of.
See, I think it's like, it depends, like it's like, I guess we all need to set everyone needs to set their own benchmarks for success, or for like what a win is, you know what I mean? So it's like, some people it's putting out a project, for some people it's winning a big project, for some people it's money, etc., etc. But I think if you let like how you set your bar be overly controlled by the world or social media or other people, it can fuck you up, because of like, because then that happens essentially where like if you put something out and like it doesn't get the notoriety that you thought, then you are set up for failure. But like if your benchmark is me putting this out is a win,
exactly,
I'm happy.
yeah.
You get me? Like, so for me, just putting out projects, I'm happy. Like I'm happy. I mean, obviously I was gassed that I got to do that, and I'm gassed for like other stuff that I've done. But I try my best not to like. You just need to stay grounded. Like,
like not to put expectations on the stuff.
Because I know when I was younger, I definitely had more of like I was definitely more like I could have been perceived more egotistical or whatever, but like I know the people who knew me knew that I wasn't really like that, like or knew that I wasn't like. They knew me, like, so they knew me, and I know that like on socials especially, like people don't know all of me, they just know they just know my work for the most part, and know that I take the piss every now and then or whatever. But like that's about it. Like most people, I don't know. But I think I like keeping it to my friends and stuff or whatever. Like my friends know me.
You see what you're saying, like what you've been saying, kind of Chet, about being quite selective about what you do, and like kind of like wanting to work on your own projects. How do you balance that then with like trying to make money and trying to make a living out of it? Because you can't, like, as we all of us like know or have tried to, like, you can't always make money off the projects that you want to do or the stuff that you want to do solely. Like, you have to do stuff you don't want to as well.
Well, you can. You can. You actually can. You just need to work at it, or you need to build. You need to build something for that to happen.
You need to get to a certain place before you can do everything that you want to do and make money off solely that.
Exactly. Yeah, but it takes work. Like, you know, you need to put in that work. And I say I'm selective. I guess more so I should be. I'm selective with personal projects, or certainly selective with, like, I'm selective with the work I do as well. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna, like, there's a lot of work that I don't do. I actively like avoid trying to do that work, because I know I won't enjoy it and I won't be able to give it my all, and it's just like whatever, it's a bit of a drag. And I've been very fortunate, because I'm only just a year out of college, almost a year now. I've been very fortunate that I have had opportunities for creative work and stuff that I have enjoyed and stuff, and that's kind of kept me afloat. And also like COVID pay as well has been great. It's kind of helping a lot of people out. But like I've been lucky that I've been able to kind of, between that and then picking up freelance work here and there, I have been able to be selective. But I'm grateful for that, and I know that that's not going to last forever or whatever. But like I think I've used that opportunity to have time to be selective, to make sure that I'm moving in the direction that I want to be moving in. So that's like the thing that money buy. Like, people say money doesn't buy you happiness or whatever. But money buys you time, or like the freedom to have the time to be selective with what you want to do and stuff like that, or how you want to move forward. Like, so I've been very fortunate, but I have to say I've been very fortunate and great. I'm super grateful for like the work opportunities and stuff, freelance opportunities that I have had so far. You know, it hasn't been loads and stuff or whatever, but like it's been enough to kind of keep me happy and like chill. Yeah.
So then, where do you kind of see yourself at in your career?
So at the moment, Mike, I think I'm just starting. Like, I know I'm still a little baby, like in the grand scheme of things. I think I'm still very much just at the beginning. Like, you know, I'm only 24. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's what I see myself as, still at the beginning, but moving towards where I'm trying to be.
So then, do you see kind of like an end goal at this point then? Not even just as like a creator, like not even just like I want to work on this, but kind of as a person. Like, what do you want, like the legacy, I guess, to be?
The legacy, wow. That's a big question.
Like, if your kids were to see your work, for example, what would you want them to?
Well, I'd hope they were proud. To call me dad, that'd be cool. But I guess, I don't know. A lot of what I do is trying my best to encourage other people to be creative as well, or like doing things to make things easier, or like just giving people that's one of the core principles of A5A, like the why it started. It was like being able to put out briefs so that me and my friends could have a reason to create stuff.
Yeah.
So whatever I hope my legacy is that like it encourages other people to create whatever it is they want to make, not necessarily make the same stuff I do, but just if seeing my work inspires you to do something that you were like shy about doing or trying or whatever, like just doing it, like that's the legacy I guess I want to leave behind, is encouraging others to create and making like hopefully my work then connects with people as well, which would be nice if it did. But I guess the main thing is just kind of making sure that other people continue to create and realizing that creativity is a viable route in life, you know.
So then, like, in terms of self-expression as well, do you feel that it kind of just comes more naturally that you have to, or do you feel like in creating things that you've, like, is it more of a tool to get by, or is it more of a vice for you?
No, it's not a tool. Like I made an agreement with myself like a few months, like I don't know, maybe like 5-6 months ago, that like if I had to like do any menial job or whatever to get, I'll do literally whatever I need to do to make money at the time, you know. Literally whatever I need to do to put food on the table for myself or my family, I'll do it. So for me, creativity is more of a, it's definitely more, it's meant to just be that creative. It's meant to be, and if I can make money out of it and like do whatever, and that fortunately I've kind of had a bit of I've been able to kind of make money from my creativity. Then obviously that'd be great if I could do that, because then I just do one thing and focus on being the best creative I can be, or artist or whatever it is. But I'm open to doing whatever I need to do to put food on the table. Like I'm not like arrogant or like if I'm not being an artist, then I'm not gonna do anything or whatever. Like, it's just not like, I've been working since I was 15, like, or working a job. I've had a job of some sort, other than the last few years or whatever. Like, but for my last 2 years of college, I was just modeling and not working in like a regular job. But like other than that, I was working in retail, working in like whatever I needed to do, like to feed myself. Like I don't come from like super whatever, like mad wealthy family or whatever and stuff, like, so very like working, like my family is just very hardworking and stuff, so I have that same mentality.
So then do you feel that it's kind of,
I'm just lucky that like I can make money from my creativity, so, and I'm grateful for that, like, you know.
But do you think that in being able to do it and kind of having something to support, like to stay here for example, do you think that that's driven you to go harder in what you're doing?
100%, yeah, because I know if I like sometimes it catches me off guard, or I'm like I can't believe I just got paid that much for whatever the fuck that was, like, like what, like, but then I'm just like, thanks. I'm out. But I think it definitely motivates you to, like, I don't know, when you realize how lucky, I don't want to lose the ability to work off or earn money off my creativity, so I'm going to keep putting in the work and stuff. It's difficult though, because like you don't really get taught that to do that, like as an individual. You're told, like I certainly didn't really get much of a training for like that kind of stuff in college, like being freelance or whatever, and going out and doing it on your own. It was always kind of like how to get a job, or like getting your portfolio ready so you can get a job, etc. So I'm learning a lot of stuff on my own and figuring stuff out thanks to the internet, and fortunate like some mentors and stuff, and like good people who kind of just helped me out and told me stuff, etc., bits of advice and stuff, or whatever it is. So yeah, that's helped as well.
So do you feel that, like, kind of with like 858, do you feel that it's always been about like kind of being self-employed as a freelance artist?
No, not like 858. Like I think it's something I need to work on, the branding for like how that image is put out, because I know obviously 858 has been attached to my name for as long as I can remember. And like it started out as like a creative tag for me, because I was too shy to put my name, like my actual name, on my work or whatever I was doing when I was younger, scribbles and stuff. And it started out being, it was in my email address first, and then like my old email address, and then it became tag, and then it became the name for this thing or whatever that was like putting out briefs for people to create work and stuff. And then now it's still, I wanted, like I've kind of hit pause on that for ages because of college and life and whatever, just life, I was busy and I was doing other shit. But now, like the direction I kind of want to take it is I'm working with like a few artists and stuff, and other creatives whose work kind of aligns, I think, with A58, or like people who are just doing interesting things that I find interesting. And my plan is to kind of just keep working with more different artists kind of over time, and then like just continuing to kind of put out work that encourages other people to do work.
Yeah.
The main thing is just like encouraging others to get working, and making sure that making sure other people are able to put out their own work, or have a space to put out work and stuff. But not just regular work, but like just risky work, or like work that doesn't fit into the mold, or like that's just like weird or whatever, just like different shit. Like not regular
things that
stuff,
just push
push a boundary, or push a boundary, even if it's just for you personally, or then if it's a bigger thing or whatever, like interrogate things or stuff that you wouldn't normally put on maybe on your main page or whatever. It's just that's kind of where that's what I've been trying to use it for more so at the moment, is for myself to do that, and then for other people as well to do that as well, hopefully. Like I have a lot of work to do on 858 over the next few months. And I've kind of started that work like 2 months ago, and I've been kind of just doing it bit by bit and stuff while working on other bits as well. But I'm excited for 858 as a whole, and I look forward to where that goes.
So for you, is it kind of like for you releasing stuff on 858, it's kind of like an experiment, the stuff you maybe wouldn't post on your main Instagram, or you usually wouldn't use?
Sometimes, sometimes to an extent, like, and like kind of like even what you mentioned earlier about like a space to kind of to put stuff out, like, you know, that you might that was kind of, that's the energy definitely, like at the moment, is to kind of do that, and then hopefully just keep doing that, and then hopefully people kind of gel with us and like what we're doing, and as 858, and like want to be part of like our community or whatever, and just fuck with us and stuff, and then we just move forward like that. But I don't know, I've always found it difficult to like develop that side of things, like the community side of 858, because of like I love talking to people in person, or like a one-to-one, and I hate chatting on socials. I don't really know how to. I'm shit at texting people. Like I can't text women, because like whenever I try, it's just an L. Like I just like if I can't get on FaceTime with you, or if we can't meet up like in person or whatever, it's just I just don't even bother. Because it's just I don't know. I never really liked texting on socials and stuff. It's just long. Maybe when I was really young, but like I don't know. I prefer if I could talk to someone in person, or talk to someone face to face. And like I feel like we need to do that more with 858 somehow. It's like developing community and letting people know that like we're here and stuff, and what we're trying to do and stuff. And but yeah,
it's really interesting. I feel like even I do it myself with Korpse. It's like things that I know I want to make, but I can't really do it under my name.
Yeah.
Why do you guys feel like you need them, if you get me? Because like I don't even know why I feel
need
like
what,
like
Korpse page,
like not even a court, like the page itself. Why do you feel like you need a separate thing just to like release this whole other thing?
I think part of it is a fear, that a fear of people, and it's a fear that has been kind of been proven, or like it's a proven fear, of like people not liking, or like liking you less because of what you put out or whatever. Because I know for me, like when I started modeling, people, like loads of people start see my stuff or whatever, and people like liked me for the modeling. And then when I started modeling, I wasn't really sharing a lot of my creative work. I wasn't really putting stuff out or anything like that on socials. And then when I started doing that, I noticed that like, and it's an age-old thing now, I think, but like for a lot of people, it's like if I put a picture of myself, it would get more likes than pictures of like my work or something. And that used to always piss me off and annoy me so much.
That's the same with you.
But then I realized that like I think that just happens to everyone, but I think that's probably one of the reasons why like I do, and a lot of people like to have a separate entity where they can share certain creative work. And also I think it's just nice to kind of have somewhere else to kind of do really like share stuff. Like I've kind of made sure to take the approach of like, because I know some official people or like client people and like higher ups or whatever follow me on Instagram and shit, and I always made sure to like try and stay true to myself and like take the piss and like do whatever I would have normally did before, and not like cater it to make sure that like they won't be mad at me or they won't do whatever. I'm like, if those are the type of people that they are, then I don't really want to be working with them in the first place.
It's like when you add someone new to your close story or something.
Exactly. I'm so glad that they brought that around as well. That saves a lot of things. But like, I think that's part of it as well. Is like, so there's some work that maybe this doesn't make sense. Like I don't know if there's anything really, but like I share pretty similar work on both anyway. I think relatively similar, but there's just sometimes I might just have like a throwaway piece that I just want to I want to put out, but like I'll share it on In58 as well, just so that like it's just to get it out and stuff. But my plan is to kind of share loads more projects that I haven't put out on A58 instead of just on my main, just to put it out there, just to see what happens as well. I think it's always interesting as well, kind of experimenting with how you share your work and how you put out your work and stuff.
So what is like kind of A58 to you? Like, not in terms of like how you apply yourself to it, of course, but kind of from a third person. Like, say you were somebody, say you could somehow show people this is what you should take from A58.
Yeah. Well, right now there isn't a whole lot to take because of, like I said, we've been quite quiet for a while, and things are only starting to kind of get back running again. But the main thing is the exact same as what I said earlier. It's like somewhere where you feel comfortable sharing wild work, for one, hopefully, and then two is somewhere that encourages you, or you feel encouraged to create more of your own work that you want to create. You know, I'm not looking for people to come and make work for me or make work that makes me happy. I want people to make their own shit that makes them happy, because if it makes them happy, I know it's gonna make other people happy, etc., etc. Just spreading out good energy and good creative energy. And also, a massive thing I want to try and do moving forward with A58 is, or I want people to try to see as well, as just the importance of being collaborative as a creative, and not like being just like working with other creatives, like not necessarily just on a project, but like sharing your work with creatives that don't necessarily do the exact same thing you do, you know, and just getting that a different perspective on your work will help you grow so much. Because of like, if you're just looking at it through one lens, and then your friend has similar lenses, and then your other friend has the exact same lenses, or your other friend has another very similar, and you're all from the same circle looking at the same type of works, you're only going to get a very limited amount of creativity from that. So it's like being able to see that, like at the moment what we got, like photographer, we've got me doing the stuff I do, and then it's like painter, like a muralist and shit, just like people doing just loads of different types of creative work that like makes that just, they're doing their own thing, but it's separate, but then they can share ideas with each other and stuff. And that's the hope, is that we'll start sharing with each other and like showing each other our projects and being like, I'm working on this at the moment, can you help me out with this, or can you do that part, or whatever, can you da. And then hopefully other people see that and realize that you can do that too with your circle of people or whatever, and you can do that with your own people, and you can like create with not you don't need to just work with a designer because of you design. You could work with someone else who's doing match it and make something that's completely unexpected, like, you know what I mean? But you need to actually collaborate in the first place, and that's one thing that I really want to push with A58 moving forward.
So do you kind of, with A58, say you were to collaborate with the people in it, do you feel that the reason why you have such a big, like, you're very protective of your ideas is because of how self-reflective they are, like the narratives that you come up with? Or do you feel that it's more so about just the natural value that you have on them, if you get me? I'm
not sure I get your question.
Like, kind of, because of, like, when you write up a narrative, it correlates very much so to your life, of course. Like, it's what you think or what you feel. Do you feel that that's where the value comes from because it's a piece of you, or do you feel that the value comes from just kind of pride in yourself to find an idea like that, if you get me?
I think it depends on the viewer. Are you asking sort of like, how do I like if I put out a piece of work, like and like I want it to be perceived a certain way. Yeah. So like I think it's my relationship with I think I sent you something before as well. I think I about like one of my artist statements. Like this is partly from inspired by I think it's Marcel Duchamp. But like the thing I wrote was I'm a mediumistic being. My work is as much mine as it is yours. And I can't remember what I said for the rest of it, but basically what I mean by that is that like I consider myself a piece of a jigsaw puzzle as opposed to the whole jigsaw puzzle. I have a role to play. Every single one on this planet is a piece of the jigsaw puzzle, and we can either put our hand in and make sure give our piece up to the world and add to it, and then let hopefully an image starts to form around our piece, and then whatever, and people can see it. But people need to see it for it to be an image. Me just being a piece on my J's is I'm just a piece that I'm nothing. Like I might as well just look in the mirror and do nothing all day. So like the way I try to approach my work is realizing that like I have a relationship with the viewer as well. You know, they are contributing to my work by coming up with what they believe they're seeing or what they see there. So like I think I see me and the viewer as like different jigsaw pieces, and we're both needed to create art essentially. And I try my best not to be I used to be real protective and being like, oh, you're meant to see this, you're meant to understand that, you know what I mean? But then you realize like for 7 billion people on this planet, I'm not trying to chat shit to 7 billion people. I'm gonna put it out. If you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you have your own if you have your own story that you have with it or whatever, or because people will see different things always, and I love that so much as well with art. Like people they'll see the part that makes sense to them, and I think it's when you over define things, you reduce how much people can do that, like essentially, or you reduce how much people can come up with their own narratives. And I think there's something that happens in the brain when people can come up with their own stories or create their own conclusions, whether it be positive or negative, and it'll stick with them more than if you just tell them things. You know, it's like it's nice when people kind of come up with their own.
So you're putting out work to kind of make people think as well.
Exactly. I tell myself that I create work to interrogate and understand and better understand the world around me, in the hopes that other people who see that work will better understand their world etc. You know, that's the hope for me. But a lot of my work is like, it's just like I put out. What did I put out? The last animation I put out was the butterflies. It was young. Like with that piece, it was just like I watched like a 40-minute documentary on about butterflies, just because I wanted to just know more about butterflies, you know. But like I just wanted, my mentality for that animation was like, I want to, what would it look like being a butterfly? Like what did the butterfly see? So like that was the idea behind that, like, and that's all it was to me. It was just butterfly, like a butterfly's view of the world, and like kind of flying around this little thing, and it's got the text on the ground and shit, and the grass and flowers. But like I know that other people perceived it differently because of what they told me, like or whatever. It'd be like, oh, that's whatever, like but like people will always have their own different perspectives, which I think is quite nice as well. Though, like I think it's healthy. It's good to have.
It's cool to see. It's cool to see what people take from photos or videos you've put up. Like even like stuff that, even if there's not even much behind the photo you took. Like I've had people come up and say different things to me about, or even like my lecturers in college will say different things to me about my photos or what they took from it, and it's always cool to see. And nice to see people like actually reading into your stuff and taking a different perspective from 100%. It as well.
Yeah. I think if you can create works that make people do that, that's you're doing a great job then as an artist, because you can if your art, like for art to be art, there needs to be something like there needs to be an in between moment where I like this, I don't like this, why? There needs to be like that needs to happen. If it's just a white wall, I just have no relationship. That's not a piece of art.
You need to provoke people to think, like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then, when you view your own old work, do you like how easily can you recognize the mind state? If you get me, or do you feel like sometimes you see your old stuff and you're like, I can't even kind of like recognize that person, if you get me?
No, I think actually the opposite. I think a lot of like I've been doing a lot of trying to get better at my memory essentially, and like trying to look back and stuff, because I've realized that I actually couldn't remember a lot of my childhood, or I couldn't remember a lot of details, like the cartoons that I liked or stuff like that. I actually but I also just never tried remembering or whatever. I never had to. And like recently when I did start looking back at stuff and seeing the correlations between like old work and stuff that I did then, and I was like, oh, like what I said earlier about like photography, and looking back at like old videos and stuff and realizing that I was the one behind the camera like most times and stuff or whatever. And so like but like seeing those correlations make me realize that like, oh, like I've grown, but I'm still the same person in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? And I still have a lot of the same sort of core principles, or the way I like to create is still the same. Like it's just different, you know? And that's cool to me. I fuck with that. But I don't know. Yeah, I do. I like looking back at my old work, in trying not to do it in a judgmental, because there's no point. Like it's already out. It's done. Stuff whatever. Like, you know what I mean? All I can do is just get better tomorrow or whatever. So yeah.
So then, just in terms of growth, sorry for going over time or anything. Just in terms of growth, how do you recognize when something is positive and when it's negative growth? If you get me.
I don't know. I obviously have no idea what anyone else feels like, but I know for me, I could feel in my heart of hearts whether I don't know, there's something in your subconscious, you just know if you're growing in the right direction, or if you it's probably more noticeable if you're growing in the wrong direction. Like your body, like you need to listen to your body and know when to listen to your body, or know when your body's trying to speak to you. And I think your body knows you best, you know what I mean? Like, and you are your body in a lot of ways, so you should know yourself best, but you have to get to know yourself as well. And I think I think you can feel it when you're moving in like, you know, in the wrong direction, or if you're moving in like a direction that maybe it's not the most fruitful for you. You can usually tell, I think, or if like you're around the wrong people or whatever, like, but I think maybe that's a skill as well that needs to be developed, and it's something maybe that I'm fortunate to have or whatever, like just because I've always kind of had an eye for like gauging situations and stuff, or like gauging people that I meet up with, like is this someone I'm gonna fuck with, or is this someone I'm not gonna want to fuck with or whatever. Like I can usually do that quite quick, and then that kind of dictates how I carry myself around those people. But yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think we've done like hour and 20 ish, so we can wrap it up. Yeah, I guess if you have anything you want to sign off with, any advice, any projects you want to plug, anything like that.
Shout out A58, shout out.
Yeah, shout out A58, shout out Somin, shout out Design Up, shout out Farouk, shout out my mom and dad, shout out my family. Yeah, I don't know. I guess hopefully, well, the plan is to put out some works that people can purchase this year. So it would be, yeah, if you're interested, let me know, and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, nothing really. I've got loads of projects coming out like in the next while, in the next like hopefully next month or two. Like the Gliders project just came out today. The website, really cool. Congrats to the guys as well. So shout out to those guys as well. Shout out G as well for the cat. Nothing to prove. Yeah, that's it. That's all the shout outs you're getting. That's about it.
Alright, sweet.
Well, I'll sign it off.
Sign off.
Look after your heads as well, kids. Like that's another thing as well. I'll say is, actually just to sign off is like, look after yourself and look after your friends. Look after just be kind to others, and just have a kind soul, and try your best to have a kind soul, and just don't be an asshole and treat people good.
Just all the gems.
That's the most, because I don't know, I said this to someone recently, like the most important thing in life is the relationships you have with other people. It dictates the relationship you have with yourself, and like I think there's nothing more important than those, like the relationship you have with others and the relationship you have with yourself, because if like that will define your life and how happy you are in life or whatever, you know. So make sure you treasure that and like look after people and look after yourself and shit. So
So this has been
That's good. Korpse Talk.
KORPSE Talks season 2 with F2
shout out
Drippy.
Korpse. Last
F2 Drippy.
Shout out F2
F2
Tappy.
Drippy, F2 Tappy.
What was the other one?
F2 Drippy, F2 Chat.
F2 Trappy.
F2 Tappy, F2 Drippy. That's it. That was a pose as well.